I don't know, what's up? What's up, my guy? Oh, the ESPN paying the commercials, my guy. What's up? What's up, everybody? Y'all good, man? Mate, sorry to have y'all waiting. We really just on here talking some ball. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make sure we putting out some good content, man. So just come on here, 15, you know what I'm saying, 20 minutes, whatever. Talk some hoops with my guy here. I know I caused a lot of ruckus this morning, man. But guys, will be all right, man. Guys will be all right. What's up, Sam? I see you, my guy. My guy out there. What's up, Shark? Everything good with you? Little 2-0 yesterday for the show. Cause we won't hurt nobody. Won't hurt nobody.
Oh yeah, beautiful little Tuesday morning. I call it Tuesday Baby Tuesday, not because it's about having babies or anything. It's about having a great fucking day. The most mundane day of the week. People are caught in the middle of purgatory. We try to make it great. We want to bring the energy to the conversation, and we want to bring you the NBA picks and winners. And ultimately, we have a nice looking card today. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I don't think there's a ton of ringer spots. We're definitely not going to be dropping 4 max bomb whale plays here, but I think we're both centered on 1 to 2 plays, and let's get straight to business. Jay, where do you want to begin on this card?
Man, it's a full card, I must say, my guys. A bunch of games. Like I say, we may not talk all of them. I know a lot of people come to for the picks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll break down every game. A lot of times we'll just come on and give out some picks. So it's whatever you want to do, my guy. I guess we'll start out. Let's start out with an early game, whatever. Let's just, you know what I'm saying. Denver versus Charlotte here. See what I'm saying? We might not go into them super deep. Just let you know how we look at them. Nuggets facing the Hornets over here. The Nuggets are coming off a couple losses. The first game in the road trip, they land 5.5 on the road. We see them. They have already beaten the Hornets earlier this year, pretty much smacked them up. So just be interested to see, can they bounce back versus Hornets team? They're holding on to the 8th seed right now in the East, my guy. What you thinking? What would you even be leaning towards? You be leaning towards the Nuggets bounce back here? Or you think that the Hornets might keep it close with them, my guy?
I think this is going to be a trend that we see throughout this card today. There's a lot of merge dynamics and counterpoints to either side. I said it yesterday. When I can, in my mind, write a thesis to each side and convince myself that side sounds really good, that's the definition of a no play. And this is the first one of about 7 or 8 that really does fit that model. Unfortunately, we always say we don't press bets. There is no rush in this life to make money. You let the money come to you when it's available. This is not a great spot. And ultimately, what's going on here, you do find a revenge game. Denver did beat them 129 to 105, I believe, in Denver. And so that's a huge element. And the line is coming against a little bit. That was -6.5 Denver. This is -5.5. Of course, that is holding some weight to Denver. It should be 3.5. So that's 2 points of strength to Denver. You said it. They've been a little lackluster. They've had a couple losses. Ultimately, the number is mildly leaning towards Denver, but again, the dynamic would suggest a bit of a buy on the Hornets here in the revenge spot. Jay, any comments on this one?
Yeah, like I said, I was leaning towards the Nuggets here, mainly because they're off a couple losses. Like I said, this is the first game on the road trip. They are heading over there to the East Coast. You see what I'm saying? But I still lean to the Nuggets here to get right. I mean, obviously they're trying to get into playoff form. I know they'll be without Murray for a while. The problem I do have without this game is they are down a bunch of their guards. You'd like to have a few of those, at least Barton or someone in there, because the Hornets are a guard-heavy team. You see what I'm saying? They don't have a lot of bigs. So Jokic is a huge matchup problem for whoever out there on the Hornets. He should absolutely eat. He is likely the MVP front runner. You know what I'm saying? Most likely going to get it. I mean, he's earned it. He's especially what they're doing without Murray. You go and win 10 of 12 games as soon as he goes down. Yeah, you deserve it, my guys. So heavy lean to the Nuggets, my guys. Like I say, it's not one I'm gonna get there with. It's really one play that I'm liking today, my guys. We're gonna go with that one. But like I say, just want to go let you guys know how we're looking at it. Some guys in the chat say they liking Hornets, other ones saying they're liking Nuggets. Like I say, I would lean. Yeah, my guy Richard say he cashed with Spurs and and Warriors yesterday. My other guy, and LaMelo is not 100%. That's something I've seen with my own 2 eyes. So that's a good point by you in the chat. I've seen it. That wrist is not good. Shots he can pass. That's about it. Let's go to this Heat versus Celtics, my guy. Shari, I know we have something about this one. It's a nice little revenge game. We have a bet on it tonight. We just have a few words, my guy. Shari, ride the wave, get out of the water, my guy. What we doing?
Please do if you do. 9 words of life stuff. And ultimately, we said this the other day. We said this is a really tough game to cap. Of course, Miami came out and obliterated them, and they really didn't sweat the game at all. They tried to give it back in the second half a little bit. Ultimately, did hold on. I think you're seeing line strength to Miami here. This does come up. It actually opened as a dog last game and then got, I think, really pushed hard to Miami -1. This comes in at -1.5. This is just difficult. I look at the first matchup, 107-105 Boston, and I do think that oftentimes when you look back on the first matchup in the rubber match, it does go back to that environment because you got the big Miami motivational point last game to revenge them. And now you get the revenge factor for Boston. And also just going back to the average, I don't expect a 30-point blowout in the first half again. I think this is going to be a lot tighter. I would take Miami on the number, but I don't really like fading Boston here. I think Boston could show up here. And Boston is very unpredictable. Boston does what you don't expect them to do. Like you expected them to compete in a couple environments, they don't. And then just when you're about to write them off, is when they'll come in here and win this game. And, of course, they might not win in a sexy fashion. They might be down in the first half, but somehow Jason Tatum will score like 20 points in the fourth quarter, and they'll win by like 2 points. It's what they do. They're unpredictable, and I really don't have an official on this one, Jay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna tell you what the huge problem is with this one, and I see everybody. This is not good, and I don't want to talk anybody out your pick gossip, but it's like everybody. When I see this, everybody in the chat like the Celtics done, Celtics trash. It's like that's when they show. I'll tell you the huge problem with this. So if the Heat were just that much better and they come out and smack them how they were supposed to, obviously no Jaylen Brown. They came and smacked them. You see, it only ended up the 6-point game. You see that it was down to 3 or 4 points, and they could have almost. I mean, that's the Heat though. Like they can be up 20, and they're the type of team where they might piss it away. I've seen it too many times, man. Celtics at the house, same environment at the house, stewing off that game before. So Heat are a better team right now, obviously without Jaylen Brown. My problem here is now they don't have Robert Williams III as well, their best center. No, I'm not trying to hear no Tristan Thompson starting 5. No, stop that. Maybe a big 3 here, maybe 4. So no, starting 5. You stop all that with Tristan Thompson. Stop that, my guy. But like I say, stand away from it. With him being out in opposed to Jaylen Brown, I mean, I wouldn't talk anybody off the Heat. Just being obviously the revenge game in their home arena. It is something that me personally I stay off of. It's either I'm going with it or I just stay off. So I could see Heat getting it done twice in a row, but guys, it's just don't be surprised if Celtics show up. That's the only thing we're saying. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like it can happen. Oh boy, man! I remember last time. I don't even know if I want to talk about Clippers versus Raptors, bro. Because last time the boys, maybe if there's not a backstage conversation this time, my guy, maybe the Clippers actually take care of business how they should. We don't even know who's playing for Raptors. You don't have to say much words on this one. I'm just talking about some games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge card. What is there, 12, 13 games, something like that. If you look at this number, the Clippers did lay, I believe, 7 at home, something like that. 7 at home.
I think it was like 8.5. It was 8.5.
Okay, it's moving up a couple points. Regardless, it should move the other direction in the revenge game, straight up for the Raptors. It is showing significant strength to the Clippers, but again, we've said this numerous times. This week, I'm really capping motivation more. Who's going to care more? And in this particular game, I don't necessarily think the Clippers are motivated to beat the Raptors by 20 points here. And I think that the other side of it, I know the Raptors have players in and out of the lineup, but again, this is an ex-championship team. They have grinders. They have professional guys. And covering spreads in the last week of the season for non-playoff teams, particularly ex-championship teams, comes down to pure professionalism. And I think that there's just a really significant counter-narrative to taking the Clippers here. I just think that the Raptors, just for the sake of the love of ball, which, of course, we always talk about, there's not a lot of love of ball right now in this campaign. We've got to sit out. They don't want to play. But the Raptors do like to ball, and they're professionals. It's just a tough fade for me here.
Exactly. So just real quick, Van Fleet's out, Siakam's out. Look like Rodney Hood is out now with a fractured left finger. It does say Boucher is questionable to possibly come back. He's been out for a while with a sprained MCL. So just be interested to see what happens. I don't know why you would bring Boucher back at this point in the season. They have been eliminated from the playoffs. But what Shark's saying is the guys they have over there are still playing hard. I'm kind of seeing some shit. It almost seems like Nurse may be going, looking towards maybe another coaching job as well. That's just what I'm starting to see some other teams his name start to pop up here. So just be interested to see with that as well. But like I say, I think this one could possibly get ugly, my guys. Just like you say, if the Clippers do play everybody and they're trying to gear up for it, I think it was some fishy shit going on in the last game. That's the only reason why they didn't smack. The fact they were down at halftime just really very telling in that game. So Lowry might get in this one to go against Kawhi, my guys. But let's get to some games we like. I was going to say something about Brooklyn and Chicago. I don't have much on them, but I was going to go to Dallas versus Memphis. You want to say something about Nets versus Bulls real quick before we get to your play?
Sure. I've said on record numerous times here, the two teams that I want to buy are Minnesota and Chicago. However, having gone into detail on this, these are the two games of the whole week that are going to be really contaminated and merged. I'm going to give some counterpoints to Minnesota in a few minutes. This is tough for the Bulls. The Nets did lose outright on a matinee to Chicago. Chicago was a little too cold then. They lost by, I believe, 9 points, 115-106. We've been saying it for now almost 2 weeks. Brooklyn has been poor. Back-to-back losses to Milwaukee, a couple road duds at the West. They finally found it in the second half at Denver. And I think there's a significant narrative point there that they're going to continue their upward movement here. They were not destined to lose 8 straight games. They were not destined to just completely fall off the grid. They have found a little life here. And ultimately, you do find a revenge game coming in here with the line coming up. They only laid 3 points before it comes up. So when you lose outright and then Vegas scales the line towards you, the narrative point and the number would be on Brooklyn here. The only reason I'm not taking this is because I don't really like fading the idea that I said that Zach LaVine is just absolutely on one, and they are on some other secondary plane of motivation here. So the game takes on a bit of a merge for me.
Exactly. Yeah, and it'll be really interesting for me to see what the Bulls bring here, because I must say it's Nets or nothing for me here. I really do think they kind of found something there in the last game versus the Nuggets. They're a team that were really struggling. They know they have to get it right before the playoffs. They have to start playing a lot better defense. Harden is coming back very soon, like seriously, maybe even the next game. Don't be surprised. He's coming back this week for sure. So Nets are starting to juice up. They pretty much had a little talking, just a little inside info from Kyrie, his mouth itself. They had a little talk, you know what I'm saying, halftime in Denver, and you see them come out in their second half and play a totally different type of game. They actually juice. So we talk about juicing up. Bulls had a couple games. This is the Nets are, you know what I'm saying, starting to fight in their group. So it's really two teams. One of them is, you know what I'm saying, obviously on a different tier, Durant and Kyrie. The Bulls have a lot of defensive guys. My problem here is, like I said, if the Nets juice up, decide to play some defense, these are still NBA players. They just don't care about defense. When they decide to care, that's when you see shit get ugly. I can see the Nets coming to play one of their better games here, my guys. Heavy lean for me, Nets, to be honest with you. And then, like I say, Tice is still in that lineup for the Bulls as well. They're not even all the way at full strength. And revenge spot for the Nets. I like the Nets today. Fade tomorrow. You listen, y'all like when I do that too, man. So it happens sometimes. Mavs versus Grizzlies, Shark. Take them away, my guy.
Well, on a very difficult card, I have honed in on the home team in Memphis tonight, the Grindhouse. Memphis plus 1.5 play of the day. You do find a revenge game. And I go back to the previous game, and what I really like about this is Memphis was in control the whole game, and Dallas got really lucky on a Luka incredible three-point shot, like a floater, which I don't know how he hit. And I talk about this all the time. When you look at how the game plays, you look at that was a Memphis win. They're going to back that up. Last night they did lay down in the second half against the Pelicans. I don't think this is a true back-to-back scenario in terms of their energy. 21-3 out of the locker room in the third quarter. They didn't really show out. They saved their energy for this particular matchup. And the last time they did tank an ATS environment at home in a home back-to-back was actually against Indy going back a month and a half ago. And they came back the next night and they handled Chicago 101-90. I think that correlates very well. Their back-to-back tanks, which people might say they haven't played well, totally not correlated to this. They were a road game at Orlando and a road game at Detroit. Road back-to-back at Detroit and Orlando, the absolute bottom feeders of the East, have nothing to do with a home revenge game in your stadium, the Grindhouse, against Dallas on a good line number. Dallas laid 3 before. They're laying 1.5 here. It's scaling against the previous environment. Memphis plus 1.5 play of the day. Got you.
Yeah, no, like I say, the Mavs are my squad. I don't always go with them. I don't always go against them. This not something I'm on, my guy. I hope you cash it. You make some really good points. I know you're a sharp guy. If you like something, you know what I'm saying, it makes me like it even more, man. Or if it's something I didn't look into, it's gonna make me look into it. So I know anything you're on is gonna be a nice side. I may ride with you on the Grizzlies. You know what I'm saying? I would not like to be on the opposite side of you pretty much ever. You dig what I'm saying? So, but as of now, I am standing off of it. Like I say, the Mavs, just for me, just the way I be looking at the Mavs, I think straight up, I think we're a better team than the Grizzlies. That doesn't mean that we're going to win today, but I think even because I was on that game, I had Mavs minus 1.5. You see what I'm saying? So I was pissed. They won the game, but they didn't cover for me. So fuck y'all. You see what I'm saying? But they're my guys. But like I say, just be interested to see what happens. They have been hot right now. They won 4 or 5 last games. I could see the Mavs losing this one today and then smacking up the Pelicans tomorrow. Pelicans pretty much I think they've been eliminated from playoff contention now. They still don't have likely won't have Zion or Ingram. You see what I'm saying? And it's a revenge game for the Mavs. So I'll be honest with you. I hope, for real, I always hope my guy cashes. I hope the Mavs get their ass kicked tonight. Like, I hope they lose by 20. I may hop on the Grizzlies just for that simple fact, but it'll be a win for me if they lose in just period. They lose by 5. They'll win tomorrow versus Pelicans. So I'll be all over them. You dig what I'm saying?
And I've said this about numerous teams. The Pelicans would be a good example of this. these inconsistent young teams, you have to find when they're going to try. And the times that Memphis gives you their best effort, they're home games, revenge games. I give you the Dubs game, game 2. I give you the Clippers game, and there was 1 or 2 other ones. I think they showed out 1 or 2 other opponents, but it's very similar to the Pelicans. Consistency to the inconsistency. Love it, live it, dominate it, and let's win Memphis. Next one, Jay, where do you want to go?
So the next one for me, my guys, I want to talk. We talk about Suns versus Warriors, my guys. Talk about Suns versus Warriors. Only 2 more that we'll probably talk about. Well, I know you had something on 76ers versus Pacers. I'm gonna let you take it. I don't have nothing.
Yeah, just very quickly. Third matchup of the year. Philly has blown them out twice already, 119-110 on the road in Indy, and then they blew them out in their home stadium by a wider margin. The reason why Philly has some merit here is Indy did lay 3 points in the first one in Indianapolis, January 31st, 2021, that was. And they come back here, and I say that all the time about a lot of these East contenders. They play very similar prototype games against the same opponent twice or 3 times. And when Philly's blown you out twice already, and the line's moving 9 points against the previous average in Indy, I think this is showing significant strength to why do I keep saying Indy? I don't know, to Philly. And and really, when you do look at this is the 3rd and 4th road home back-to-back for Indy. And Indy's off of a couple home covers, interestingly enough. They were 4-20 home against the spread, and then they did beat Atlanta straight up. Of course, we had that incorrectly. And then they covered the next one, too. So now they're 2-0 ATS last 2 at home, and I'm not sure if that's a sustainable trend and they're going to move up continuously to close the season. I think there's a significant lead to the 76ers here.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, just one quick point, guys. You're gonna see what's up with Embiid's status. Not saying that they won't cover whether he's in or not, but just know, like, obviously, if he's out, you could possibly get a better number. So, good point by my guy in the chat there. Let's go to Suns versus Warriors here, my guys. Warriors have been red hot. Just something I was talking with my guy real quick before we went on the show. I would like to buy the Suns here. They are coming off that loss versus the Clippers. I do think that, I mean, they have already beaten the Warriors early this year. I think one of those times they said, like, Draymond and some guys, but regardless, even with straight up team, especially this version of the Warriors with them being high. I know Steph is high. This is a back-to-back spot for them. They did have to exert a lot of energy going up against a really good, tough defensive team last night. I do think they could also come into play. I'll tell you one counterpoint to the Suns, guys. The only thing is just something to look for. So right now they sit the 2 seed. It's starting to become less likely that they get the 1 seed over the Jazz unless they just lose out. Do the Suns really just want to slide down to the 3 seed? I mean, obviously we have to see if the Lakers can play their self out of the 7 seed as well. But the problem is, Stark, the Suns aren't the type of team where they try to lose. Like, there's not, even though the game versus the Lakers last game, I mean, they just didn't come to play, but it's just I couldn't see them just like literally just trying to lose. We know that Chris Paul's going to come face the Steph as well, right?
CP3 mentality. They will never try to lose. Look at the Oklahoma City Thunder last year. They were supposed to tank for the number 1 pick, and they were 500 on the campaign. CP3 is one of the best motivators in the entire sport.
I think if they come to play, bro, I think Suns might fight. Like I said, the only thing is, like, I could see them literally trying to drop to 3 just for their own good. Because, I mean, nobody would want to face the Lakers in the or the Warriors in the first round. I mean, not just try on purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're right. So it's a possibility. But other than that, like I say, straight up, the boys come to play. I like the Suns. The Suns are nothing for me here. I know the Warriors been hot. I like the Suns here -5, to be honest with you guys. I was this close to making that one official. I think I'm going to go with this other, you know what I'm saying, -5 spread. Dig what I'm saying. The home team juiced up as well. But I think the Suns, they're coming off a bad loss. Warriors, I know they've been hot, and rightfully so. Suns have a damn good defensive team, one of the best all-around defenses in this league, my guys. I know they've been slipping, but what you think of this, my guy? Am I tripping or what?
No, I don't think you're tripping. I think you are locked and loaded. I think you were locked and loaded. I don't have a play on this one. I think this is just a tough merge. You do get the double revenge game for the Warriors. The Warriors have gotten blown out, excuse me, twice by Phoenix this year already, 114-98 and a bigger blowout without their players. Both of those games were in Phoenix. So, again, it's an environmental shift, which we don't have a lot of information with. We don't have any information of the CP3 Phoenix Suns playing against the Warriors on the road. First game ever. So we just don't know. And you do get the Warriors on a 3rd and 4 back-to-back off a big win last night. Great win, great cover for us. Of course, consistency to the inconsistency doesn't apply to the contenders as much. I do think this is a sharp line. The lines so far have been -1.5 Phoenix, minus 12.5 Phoenix without the players, and now minus 5 on the road. The minus 1.5 was correlated to the full roster. So I think that does show some strength to the minus 5, 1.5 home, 3.5 jump on the road, theoretically suggesting that off of a loss, as you said, they didn't play the other night, they will show up here. No lean for me, though. Not much going on here.
Got you. Yeah, no, I think that Steph gets cooled off tonight. Cameron Payne, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's a damn good defensive player as well. Chris Paul, he's always, ever since Steph crossed him up and dropped him, see what I'm saying, hit him with that little 2-2 back behind the back and had him touching his tippy toes, he always going to be out for him. Next game up, game of the day, my guy, Lakers versus the Knicks. And I kind of love this one. The last couple of times that LeBron came back, public's all over Lakers. Not here. Everybody's all over the Knicks, and I love it because the Knicks, and I don't like the hat that you have on. I just noticed that the hat that you have on, I don't care whether you see me fade, man. I don't like the hat. Listen, I got some Lakers shorts, my guys. But regardless, Lakers for me today, my guys, minus 5 now. Lakers, I mean, they already juiced up. You see AD say, hey, you know what? I'm back. They're juicing up. They're getting ready for the playoffs. Still trying to play out of the 7th seed. Still trying to win every game. Now LeBron back, I think it's different from what last time. I think this was going to be a shot in the arm. He's only going to help, only going to supplement. See what I'm saying? Last time he kind of took away from him. He probably been sitting back, watch film. Oh, damn, I really fucked shit up last time I came back. Let me just sit back, let AD do his thing, and get my feet wet. That's what I think. And play point guard. That's what they need. Knicks last game of a 5-6 game road trip, coming off big win in LA. Oh, we're just gonna go to hit the club real quick, have a couple drinks, maybe get on a little couple gas. See what I'm saying? Dig what I'm saying? Oh, maybe hit the little dispensary. Lakers for me, minus 5.5. Top play of the day, my guy. Let's go. I love the hat. Now, what you thinking, my guy?
I don't disagree. I like the revenge factor. I like the line jump. Knicks did lay 1 at the Garden. They plus 5.5. You had 6.5 points. It should be 3.5. This is showing strength for the Lakers. And you made the point. One of the hardest travel points, comically, in the NBA is not the travel point. It's hanging out in LA in a back-to-back scenario against the Clippers and the Lakers. They don't know what to do. There's no movement. They do go out. I do think one mild counterpoint. I do think the Knicks unit here is not exactly your promiscuous Eddie Curry and Stephon Marbury hitting the club.
Mm-hmm.
You got IQ, you got D Rose, you got RJ. These are professional guys. I don't think it applies to them as much, but I do think the number stands a lot of weight. And I think just at the end of a road trip, a very tough road trip, I would suggest their hardest road trip of the entire season. I think this does speak to a bit of a letdown spot. I don't disagree. Not official for me, but I definitely don't disagree.
Exactly. I could see it being a little sleepy spot as well, a little late night. This is an East Coast team over on the West Coast. Last game, at some point, I do think it will catch. I know some teams they catch a different wind, but I really think this is a sleepy spot. You see what I'm saying? These boys are going to be ready to go home, regardless of what happens in the first half. I like the Lakers to pull away in this one in the fourth quarter, win this one by double digits. Nobody likes it. I understand everybody. The Knicks are like 16-3 ATS run. I love it. I think that they go I think it goes to 16-4 today, guys. So I mean, it's not. It's nothing max or anything. Somebody talking about biggest bets and all this. Nah, man. I'm going one unit, my guys. Just one unit for me. But I like the Lakers. So I like the Lakers in this spot. It's not necessarily a huge fade of Knicks. Be interested to see if Alec Burks and Quickly are still out. So I'll love it even more. But they're still down with a couple of their guards. This isn't the Clippers. This isn't some little willing. I think the Lakers really come to play today. They're starting to juice up. They don't want to be no fucking 7th seed. You dig what I'm saying? I like the Lakers. They might get some help from some other powers, but give me the Lakers, my guys, regardless, for a bunch of reasons. Revenge, all that. They didn't have AD or LeBron. They're back today, starting to get to full squad. Give me the Lakers, man. I like it. You can't be afraid to lose. Minus 5.5 top play. What we're going with, Shark? Let them know what your top play is before we get out of here, my guy.
I just want to make one comment on the Minnesota game because I think people wanted to talk about that one.
I forgot that one. My bad.
I have said this numerous times going back in last week. I really want to buy Minnesota, but on a similar reasoning to why I can't take the Chicago Bulls tonight. And for those of you guys that want to ride the Bulls and the Wolves with me, we will be back next game. We're taking one game off of this beautiful trend. The issue here, really significant counterpoints to taking the Wolves tonight. These road covers against the bad teams, of course, they blew out the Magic and they covered at Houston, which are the corollaries. Both of those were revenge games for Minnesota. Minnesota had lost prior against Houston at home, and they had lost prior at home against Orlando. This flips. They did beat and cover against Detroit in the season opener, I might add, December 23rd, in a tumultuous 2020 campaign.
Tumultuous.
But this is really difficult because that's an environmental shift. The revenge game for the opponent now. and you get them laying a big figure. And one further point, a corollary I really dislike, when you go back and you look at the best game that Detroit has played in the last 2 or 3 weeks, it was a home revenge game against Memphis. And they won 111-97. Memphis was scaling up in the number. Memphis had handled them at home in a similar environment. It's a very specific corollary to the Memphis home game for Detroit, and it lacks the revenge motivation for the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves might win. I think they might not cover. There's enough counterpoint for me not to take this. And we will be back on the wagon for their homestand, starting with the fate of Denver 2 nights from tonight. So we're going to close it out. Play of the day for me, Memphis plus 1.5. Grindhouse revenge game. Coasted the second half last night to prep for this. It's a great box checker for me. And let's ride the wave. J-Money?
Yes, sir. Just look at his hat, man. I'm on the Lakers tonight. Lake Show, starting to get the full squad, starting to juice up, starting to show that they're really trying to make a run going into the playoffs, trying to at least, even if they're not going to back-to-back, at least show that they're here. You know what I'm saying? Make it at least to the conference final. Something, at least trying to show that they're here. LeBron trying to has a bunch as well to show tonight. He is one that pays attention to the media. They know that they're talking shit about the Lakers. AD is juiced up, says he's back. I think LeBron comes back specifically to play point guard, simply put, and let AD run the show. I also think the Knicks could really look. What happened? Oh, we're ready to go to the house. Oh, my bad. Well, I was off them edibles last night, man. Give me Lakers minus 5.5, man. We appreciate everybody for watching, my guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Follow my guy on Twitter. My guy hitting you with the fastest 2 minutes, all type of videos, all type of shit, man. At Shark and Sports on Twitter. I'm at J Money is Money. We appreciate y'all for watching. We gone, my guy.